Hello, beautiful Sagittarius soul. Welcome. Take a deep breath with me right now. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Let your shoulders drop. Allow yourself to arrive fully in this moment. I'm so glad you're here. Whether you're watching this first thing in the morning with your coffee, during a quiet break in your day, or winding down in the evening, know that this time is yours. This is your invitation to pause, to listen, and to reconnect with the deeper currents moving through your life right now. This isn't about predicting your future or telling you what will definitely happen. I'm not here to claim I know your destiny. Instead, I'm here as a reflective guide, someone holding up a gentle mirror so you can see more clearly what's already stirring within you. Think of this as a conversation with your own inner wisdom, with me simply helping to illuminate what might need your attention most this week. So settle in, get comfortable, and let's explore together where your awareness might serve you best in the days ahead. Before we dive into this week's specific guidance, let's honor who you are at your core, because understanding your natural tendencies helps you recognize both your gifts and the places where you might need a little extra gentleness with yourself. As a Sagittarius, you carry the energy of the archer, always aiming towards something greater, something beyond the horizon. You're a seeker, aren't you? There's this beautiful restlessness in you that refuses to settle for surface-level understanding. You want to know the why behind everything. You want to explore, expand, grow, learn. You possess this remarkable ability to see the bigger picture when others get lost in details. While people around you might be stuck in the weeds of a situation, you're often the one who can step back and say, "But look at where this is all heading. Look at the potential here." That's a gift. Your optimism, your faith in possibilities, your belief that things can get better. These aren't naive qualities. They're forms of courage. You're also honest, sometimes brutally so. You value truth and authenticity above almost everything else. Small talk can feel suffocating to you because you crave real conversation, the kind that touches on philosophy, meaning, dreams, and the vast questions that make life worth living. And let's talk about your need for freedom. This isn't selfishness or commitment phobia, though it might have been labeled that way. Your soul genuinely requires space to roam, to question, to explore different perspectives and experiences. You understand instinctively that growth happens when we're willing to step outside our comfort zones. But here's where tenderness comes in. These same beautiful qualities can sometimes create challenges. Your love of the big picture can sometimes mean overlooking important details. Your honesty, while refreshing, might occasionally land harder than you intend. Your need for freedom can sometimes manifest as restlessness when what you actually need is to deepen roots. Your optimism might occasionally skip over the necessary work of processing difficult emotions. None of this makes you flawed. It makes you human. And this week, dear Sagittarius, your awareness of these patterns will be especially valuable. The primary energy asking for your attention this week centers around something that might feel counterintuitive to your fiery, forward-moving nature. The sacred pause. I'm sensing, and you might already be feeling this, that there's been a lot of momentum in your world lately. Perhaps you've been pushing toward goals, juggling multiple projects, saying yes to opportunities, planning the next adventure, or simply keeping pace with life's demands. Your natural enthusiasm has you constantly reaching for what's next. But this week, there's a gentle invitation to slow down. Not stop. I would never tell a Sagittarius to completely stop, because I know that would feel like death to your spirit. But slow down. Pause. Take inventory. Think of it like this. Imagine you're that archer, your bow drawn, arrow aimed. You've been so focused on the target, so intent on releasing that arrow and watching it fly. But this week is asking you to hold that position for a moment longer, to check your stance, to feel the tension in the bowstring, to make sure your aim is truly aligned with where you want to go. This pause isn't about doubt or hesitation. It's about clarity and intentionality. Let me break down 3 specific areas where bringing more awareness this week could create profound shifts for you. Sagittarius, you live so much in the realm of ideas, philosophies, and forward vision. Your mind is brilliant, always connecting dots, seeing patterns, understanding the theoretical framework of situations. But sometimes, and please receive this with gentleness, You can use all that mental energy to skip over what you're actually feeling. This week, I'm inviting you to check in with your emotional landscape, not to analyze it, but to simply be with it. What does this look like practically? It might mean that when someone asks how you are, you don't immediately launch into everything you're doing or planning. You pause and ask yourself, how am I actually feeling right now? Not what am I thinking about how I should feel, but what is genuinely present in my body and heart. It might mean sitting with discomfort instead of immediately trying to reframe it into a lesson or silver lining. Sometimes sadness is just sadness. Sometimes frustration is just frustration. And that's okay. You don't have to turn every emotion into a philosophical teaching moment. Your tendency might be to say, well, this situation is challenging, but I can see how it's going to help me grow. And really, it's all happening for a reason. And yes, that perspective has value. But before you get there, can you simply acknowledge, this hurts, or this is disappointing, or this is making me anxious? There's wisdom in allowing yourself to feel the full spectrum of human emotion without immediately needing to transcend it or find a meaning in it. The meaning will emerge naturally. But first, the feeling needs to be witnessed and honored. Reflective practice for this week. Each evening, place your hand on your heart and ask yourself, what did I feel today? Not think, feel. See if you can name 3 emotions that move through you, even briefly. No judgment, just noticing. Here's a tender question that I'm holding space for you to explore. What if some of your forward momentum isn't always about moving toward what you want, but occasionally about moving away from what you don't want to face? Again, this isn't criticism. This is awareness. And awareness is always loving. You, dear Sagittarius, are naturally future-oriented. You're energized by possibilities, by what could be, by the next chapter. This is beautiful. But sometimes this orientation can become a subtle form of avoidance. When the present feels heavy, complicated, or boring, it's so easy to put all your energy into planning the next trip, the next project, the next big thing. This week, I'm inviting you to gently investigate. Is there something in your current reality that you're hesitant to fully engage with? Perhaps it's a relationship that needs a difficult conversation. Perhaps it's a career situation that requires you to develop patience with a slow process rather than jumping to something new. Perhaps it's a grief or a loss that you've mentally processed, but haven't emotionally integrated. Perhaps it's simply the ordinary demands of daily life that feel too mundane for your expansive spirit. The invitation isn't to judge yourself if you discover you've been avoiding something. The invitation is simply to see it clearly, because once we see clearly, we can choose consciously. There's a difference between healthy growth and escapism, and sometimes the line between them is thin. Healthy growth says, I'm evolving and moving toward alignment. Escapism says, I can't handle what's here, so I'll focus anywhere else. Reflective practice for this week. Journal on this question. What in my current life am I most eager to move past and why? Then ask, what might happen if I stay with this experience just a little longer and fully engage with it? This is perhaps the deepest invitation this week, Sagittarius, and it touches on one of your core life themes, the dance between freedom and commitment, between expansion and depth. You value freedom so deeply, and that's non-negotiable, nor should it be. But sometimes, in our fierce protection of freedom, we can create a pattern where we keep everything at arm's length. We don't commit fully to people, projects, or paths because commitment feels like it might limit our options. But here's what life has taught me, and what this week might be illuminating for you. True freedom often exists within commitment, not outside of it. Think about mastery in any field. A musician doesn't become free to improvise beautifully without first committing to years of practice. A writer doesn't find their unique voice without committing to the discipline of writing regularly. Deep, meaningful relationships don't develop without the commitment to show up even when it's hard. This week, you might be feeling the tension between your desire to keep exploring and the quiet pull to deepen something you've already started. Maybe it's a relationship where you've been keeping one foot out the door just in case. Maybe it's a creative project you've dabbled in but haven't fully committed to. Maybe it's a personal practice or spiritual path that you intellectually appreciate but haven't deeply embodied. The question isn't whether you should give up your freedom or stop exploring. The The question is, what might you discover if you chose depth over breadth in one specific area of your life? Expansion is important, but so is depth. And sometimes we need to go deeper in order to expand more authentically. Reflective practice for this week. Identify one area of your life where you've been keeping things somewhat surface level or keeping your options open. Not to force yourself to commit if it doesn't feel right, but simply to ask, what am I afraid might happen if I went deeper here? And is that fear serving me or protecting me from something that might actually be beautiful? Beautiful Sagittarius. All three of these awareness points, feeling your emotions fully, examining your motivations, and exploring depth are really pointing to the same core invitation: integration. Integration means bringing all the parts of yourself into conversation with each other. It means allowing your brilliant mind to work with your tender heart rather than overriding it. It means honoring both your need for freedom and your capacity for commitment. It means being honest about both your light and your shadows. You're so good at seeing possibilities and potential. This week is about seeing what's actually here right now, with the same enthusiasm you bring to imagining what could be. Let's talk practically about challenges that might arise this week and how to meet them with awareness. If you feel restless or antsy, first, acknowledge it without judgment. Restlessness isn't wrong. Then ask, is this restlessness pointing me towards something I need to change? Or is it asking me to develop my capacity to be present with what is? Sometimes restlessness is a valid signal for change. Sometimes it's just discomfort with stillness. Learning to tell the difference is a superpower. If someone asks for more commitment or presence from you, before your automatic response of pulling back or defending your freedom, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, is this person asking me to betray myself, or are they simply asking me to show up more fully? There's a difference. You can honor your need for space and offer deeper presence. It's not either slash or. If you find yourself planning the next thing before finishing the current thing, gently bring yourself back. You don't have to stop planning entirely. Planning energizes you, but see if you can give 80% of your attention to what's in front of you and 20% to what's next rather than the reverse. If emotions feel overwhelming or confusing, remember that you don't have to understand them immediately. You don't have to make them mean something. Emotions are just energy moving through you. You can observe them the way you'd observe weather passing through the sky. Here's sadness. Here's frustration. Here's joy. Let them move. Now, let's shift to the beautiful opportunities that are available to you this week when you bring awareness to these areas. Deeper connections. When you slow down and allow yourself to be more emotionally present, your relationships have the opportunity to deepen in remarkable ways. People feel your full presence, and that creates safety for them to show up more authentically too. The conversations you have this week could surprise you with their depth and meaning if you're willing to be vulnerable. Clarity on direction. That sacred pause I mentioned at the beginning, when you take it seriously, you might find that your goals come into sharper focus. Sometimes we're so busy moving that we don't realize we're slightly off course. A small adjustment now can mean arriving at a much more aligned destination later. Trust that slowing down won't cost you momentum. It will actually enhance it. Emotional resilience. As you practice feeling your emotions without immediately spiritualizing them or moving past them, you build genuine emotional resilience. This isn't about becoming more stoic or tough. It's about developing the capacity to hold the full range of human experience without being overwhelmed by it. This is real strength. Creative breakthroughs. When you commit more fully to something, a project, a practice, a relationship, you often break through to a new level. Depth reveals things that breadth never can. Here are some specific suggestions for how to work with your Sagittarius energy this week. Morning practice. Before you jump into your day, spend 5 minutes just sitting quietly. You can call this meditation if you want, but really it's just intentional stillness. Notice your breath. Notice what's alive in you. Set an intention to bring awareness to the present moment throughout your day. Mindful transitions. Pay attention to the moments between activities. When you finish one thing and move to the next, take 3 conscious breaths. This helps you stay present rather than constantly leaning into the future. Body movement. Your fire energy needs physical expression, but this week, Instead of high-intensity workouts, which you might gravitate toward, consider something that combines movement with mindfulness. Yoga, Tai Chi, a slow walk in nature where you actually notice your surroundings. Let your body help you practice presence. Honest conversations. If there's a conversation you've been avoiding or a truth you've been skirting around, this week holds supportive energy for speaking authentically. Remember, your honesty is a gift when it's delivered with care for the other person's humanity. Creative expression. Channel some of your mental energy into creative practice. Write, paint, make music, cook something elaborate. Let yourself be fully absorbed in the process without worrying about the outcome. Sagittarius, your relationship with time can be complicated. You're often so focused on the future that you're impatient with the present, or you're so caught up in the excitement of an idea that you want to implement it immediately. This week, practice trusting divine timing. Some things genuinely need to unfold slowly. Some growth happens underground, invisible, before it becomes visible. Some relationships need time to develop. Some projects need incubation periods. Your job isn't to force things into being through sheer will and enthusiasm. Your job is to show up consistently, do your part, and trust the process. I know that's challenging for you. You want to see results. You want to know it's all leading somewhere. But what if the not knowing is part of the journey? What if the space between planting and harvesting is sacred and necessary? Let's come back to that image of the archer, because it holds something important for you this week. You've always thought your job was to aim higher, farther, toward bigger and bigger targets. And yes, that's part of it. But the deepest wisdom of the archer isn't about how far the arrow flies. It's about the stillness and presence required to aim truly. The best archers aren't the ones who shoot the most arrows. They're the ones who take the time to breathe, to center, to feel their body in alignment, to release when the moment is exactly right. This week, be that archer. Take your time. Feel into alignment. Check your aim. And when you do release, whether that's making a decision, having a conversation, taking action on a goal, you'll do so from a place of genuine clarity and presence. I want to leave you with a few affirmations that you can return to whenever you need to reconnect with this week's energy. I am allowed to slow down without losing momentum. My emotions are wisdom speaking through my body. Depth and freedom can coexist beautifully in my life. I trust the timing of my growth and evolution. Presence is not limitation. It's the foundation of true freedom. I can explore possibilities while honoring what's already here. Beautiful Sagittarius, I want you to know that whatever you're navigating right now, whatever questions you're sitting with, whatever growth is trying to happen through you, you're not alone in it. We all struggle with these invitations to slow down, to feel deeply, to commit when we crave freedom, to be present when we're drawn to what's next. These are universal human experiences, and you're walking a path that countless others have walked and are walking right now. Be gentle with yourself. You don't have to get this perfect. There's no final destination where you've mastered presence or emotional awareness or commitment. This is lifelong practice. Some days you'll remember. Some days you'll forget. Both are okay. What matters is your willingness to keep showing up, to keep asking questions, to keep growing. And that willingness, that's already evident in the fact that you're here, that you're listening, that you're opening yourself to reflection and guidance. Trust yourself. Trust the journey. Trust that you have everything you need to navigate this week with grace, awareness, and authenticity. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your beautiful, seeking spirit. Thank you for your courage to look within. May this week bring you clarity where you need it, peace where you're seeking it, and the perfect balance of freedom and presence that your soul is craving. Until next time, dear Sagittarius, keep aiming true, keep your heart open, and remember that sometimes the greatest adventure is discovering the depth in exactly where you are, sending you so much light and love.